Bunny Tears. What's cracking, Bunny Boilers? My name is Bunny Tears. Welcome to Storytime with Bunny Tears. This episode is entitled Climbing Skyscrapers. Now, I know what you're thinking. What the hell could this episode possibly be about? Well, in classic Storytime with Bunny Tears fashion, I am actually going to tell you at some point. However, as always, first thing is first, this is a domination on Nuketown. Now, you're looking at a little cinematic intro that I put on to basically show how badly my team was getting smashed before I came in. I came into this game a bit late, and when I did come in, our team was getting spawn trapped. Everything they were putting in the air, like care packages, helicopters, UAV, were all getting shot down. We had only one flag, and by the time I had spawned, we had no flags. We were getting completely dominated. Now, I had to basically win this game for my team, because it was clear to say that when I came in, it was 4 against 6. 4 of us against 6 of them, and it was obvious my team wasn't strong enough to beat their team. So, I had to make a decision to carry this team, and the way that I do that, you're going to see, is I capture the B flag at some point, and then I stay in front of their spawn building, and I stay on either side, so I can see all the way down from one side of the map to the other. Anyone who goes past the front of their spawn building, I kill. So it's essentially a one-man spawn trap, and this is probably the most effective way to win a domination when you know your team isn't good enough on their own to defeat the other team. So that's what you're watching. First round's pretty good. I do a lot to kind of catch up on the enemy team's score, and the second round is just demolishing. It is disgusting. But let's move on to the story. Now, I think I'd be an idiot if I didn't say that for legal reasons, this story is not true at all. Nothing I'm about to say is actually true. It's all made up in my head, I promise. Now that that's out of the way, let's actually get on to the story. So, I believe it was my 16th birthday. What was happening was, I was having a few friends around, we were all gonna drink, and, yeah, that was pretty much it. My mother and younger sister went out to the cinema very late, at like midnight, I think, because they were a bit like, oh yeah, we want to give you your space, you can drink for a while, we'll go out for a couple of hours at midnight, so you and your friends can just drink in the house. So that's what we did. However, there is a skyscraper. I say skyscraper, it's basically a tower block, but a very, very, very tall tower block, in the area I live in. I'm not going to say how close, but in the area I live in. And what they were doing to this skyscraper, I'm not sure what they were doing actually. I think they were putting up, like, I actually don't know what they were doing. But there was essentially scaffolding going all the way from the bottom of this skyscraper to the top of it. Now, we were graffiti artists. There was about 15 of us at this party. 2 of us were graffiti artists. Myself and a friend we're gonna call D, and there was also another guy who was just down for anything, who we will call Mark. Mark, yes. So what we decided we were gonna do is wait until it was extremely late. We were going to climb this scaffolding around the outside of this tower block / skyscraper. We were gonna climb up the 24 floors. And across the 50-odd feet wall on the side of this skyscraper, we were going to do huge graffiti. That was the plan. What we did was, we left the house at about 12:30. We went to go and climb this kind of scaffolding around the outside of the building, but what we found was there was a big metal builder's fence around it. Now, we thought we'd be able to get through that nice and easy. It ended up to be a bit harder than we thought. So one of the guys who were with Mark just kind of pulled the fence apart. He pulled it off the wall and basically broke it and shit. It was crazy, and it made so much fucking noise. So we did that. We quickly got in and started climbing the scaffolding. Now, it had some green netting around the outside of the scaffolding, so we had some kind of cover. However, we were having to climb up ladders which were right next to people's kitchen windows. So it was quite late, but there was a chance we were going to get seen through someone's kitchen window. So we started climbing. We got up to, I want to say, about the 16th to 18th floor after about 20 minutes of climbing. and we could see everything. This view was unreal, and the fact that we were on scaffolding looking at this view was terrifying. So we wanted to get shit done as soon as possible. So what we did was, we just got to work. So we started doing this graffiti across this wall. Huge, literally 50-foot long graffiti. It was amazing. It was probably the most prolific thing we'd actually done in our graffiti career. So we started doing that. And then after about 15 minutes of doing this, we see flashing blue lights. So we look down, and a police car has pulled into the area. Now, they weren't near the tower block yet, but because we were so high, we could see them coming from a distance. So this police car starts pulling in, we shit ourselves, and we start running and jumping down this scaffolding as quickly as we can. We get to about the 9th floor, and we notice that the police car has pulled up right at the bottom of the scaffolding, the way that we got in. So there was no way out. The ladders led down to where the police car was, so everyone hit the floor. We hit the floor of the scaffolding so that if they looked up, they couldn't see us. And this police car just sat there. As soon as Mark and Dee hit the floor, I made a decision to not hit the floor. I made a decision to go around the scaffolding to the back where there were no ladders, climb on the outside of this scaffolding through the netting, climb onto the outside of it. So I'm basically just hanging 9 floors in the air. If I let go, I'm going to fall to my death. And I start shimmying down these poles like a fucking fireman or a monkey or something. It was crazy. And I must have got down 9 floors in about 10 seconds. I was going that quickly. And then I jumped off, landed on a little platform which was like over the top of some road, and then jumped off that platform onto the ground and just walked off. And then I walked around the tower block, round to the back of it, and I walked straight past the police car and just walked off. Just acting completely normal, looking up at the scaffolding as if I was confused, like, oh, why are they at the bottom of the scaffolding? The police car pulls up next to me and goes, hey. I was like, yeah. They were like, we just saw you climbing down the back of that scaffolding. And I was a bit like, no you didn't. And they just kind of sat there looking at me and went, yeah, we did. We just saw you. I was like, mate, I'm going to a party. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm literally going to a party. So they were like, oh yeah, okay, okay. So they thought I was lying. They thought I'd just come into the area to climb this scaffolding and be a kid, basically. So I buzzed up my house. Someone answered who was still in the house out of the like 10 people that were left in there. And they let me in, and the police car just kind of drove off. But my 2 friends, Dee and Mark, were still laying down on this scaffolding. So what I decided to do, when the police car drove down the road, it basically started moving about but staying in the area. When the police car drove down the road, so it was out of sight of the bottom of the ladders, I walked past the scaffolding and whistled up to my friends. I was basically just sitting there whistling as I walked past to let them know, come down now. I walked up to the police car, who was, it just about couldn't see the bottom of the ladder. I walked up to the police car, started talking to them saying, what's going on? Why were you saying I was climbing scaffolding? What's going on tonight? And they were a bit like, oh, like, never mind, you know, something happened, don't worry about it, it's an incident, like, don't worry. So, on my way back, I'm walking back towards the house, and I think, right, okay, they got down safely. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And then, as I'm walking back, all I hear is a loud screaming. Like, some guy just shouting at the top of his lungs. So I run back around to the front of the tower block where I dropped down, and I see my 2 friends running off, being chased by 2 random guys. They are getting just chased, ridiculously chased, like really fucking, like they just killed someone, and they get away. So I quickly go up to the house, I get a few people together, I call my friend D and I say, where are you? He says, I'm in Bush. Now, across the road is an area called Shepherd's Bush. So I'm like, okay, we need to go to Bush, we need to pick these guys up and come back. We go over to Bush, we spend about 45 minutes looking around Bush for these guys, and they're nowhere. They are nowhere to be found. We can't find them anywhere. So we're just walking around Bush aimlessly at like 1 in the morning. I know my mum and my little sister are getting home soon. So I'm fucking confused. I need to know where these guys are so I can bring them back and we don't get in trouble from my mum. And then I get a call. And I'm like, where are you, D? D, where are you, bro? You said you were in Bush. And he turns to me and he goes, no, I'm not in Bush. I'm in a bush. So I slap my head and I kind of go, oh, for fuck's sake, what bush? And he says, oh, back towards Holland Park, I'm in a bush. So we walk back towards Holland Park. We see Dee and Mark jump out of a bush. We walk with them back to the house. We have a few drinks. We have a bit of fun. My mum comes home. It's all gravy. And that's about it, really. That's pretty much all that happened. So yeah, guys, give me another time in my life and I will give you a story. Bunny out, bitches! What's cracking, Bunny Boilers? My name is Bunny Tears.